right, welcome into the Brandon Lowe Show with Ryan Pritt on HD Media as well as Video Productions. I'm your host, Brandon Lowe. Next to me, my co-host, Gazette Mail's Ryan Pritt. And across from us, the producer, the magician, all the above. He is Jack Withrow, also the voice. Can't leave that out, of University of Charleston.
You like that?
Athlete. Yeah, you got to let him know what you do, man. You got like 27 jobs. You're going up there with Wade, I think. At this
I'm
point.
trying.
You guys are battling for the...
Summer's coming up.
Man,
I've got some free
know.
time.
you got to cut some grass in the
tell
summer.
Him, yeah, don't tell Wade that. He'll go get a job at Speedway or something. He's not going to get beat in this competition.
Yeah, Wade, I don't think anybody can beat Wade as far as the jobs. But good to be here. It is the 20th of May, and it is Friday. We do this Mondays and Fridays at 4 p.m. across the board on all HD media platforms as well as Video Productions and our social media pages at BLR Pod. I'm trying to get used to that because it changed it on our Twitter page. And we got a lot to get to.
Hotter than hell outside here in about an hour, right?
Yeah, 95 it's supposed to get to.
Prayers and thoughts to all the people sitting on the aluminum at Langley Field this afternoon.
Track and field
Hope
stuff.
you got
right?
your pants on. That's going to be like a skillet.
Yeah.
And then sitting down with some shorty shorts on those. Might not get back off.
That's like the middle of the I don't know, on top of the sun.
Just go
You
buy
sit
you a
there
dozen
lately with
eggs, get you a spatula, go up there, and there, boom. Get yourself a little,
Get you a little breakfast,
late
a little
lunch.
Little brunch.
Yeah, a little breakfast for dinner. Who doesn't love that?
Yeah,
I like
it's always
that.
nice.
Fried egg up there.
Big fan.
Yeah,
I've gone to a some type of benefit walk around the track there in July, and as he slams his cup
No, it
down,
burnt me. It was hotter than I thought. It was panicking.
and that was rough. If you've ever been on that field in July, June, August, all those, it's tough, man. It's like the sun's right on top of you.
Yeah.
I like how Mother Nature's like, for 2 days, you're dead. And then Sunday, it's like 80. Monday,
Right.
it's like 75.
And then it's supposed to go back in the 70s. But anyway, we're doing our weather report for the day.
Yeah, Mother Nature knew the track meet was going on, and she's not going to make it comfortable on anybody.
Speaking of, events and SSAC
He could
transition there.
Could not wait to shift that gear. I could see it. He was just looking for the end, and I gave it to him.
You just saw it. I was like,
Yeah.
the wheel just going in my.
Yep.
Nice article, man.
Thank
If you haven't, I'm sorry, column. If you haven't checked it out, check it out because Ryan just went scorched earth on how the SSAC is points and all that stuff. Of course, if you watched or listened to the podcast, we kind of talked about it
I
before
kind
that.
of wrote it on air last week, didn't I?
Yeah.
Jack said, I've heard this, kind of just plugged it in.
But well written, as always. Nice little punchline at the end. I always enjoy looking. That's the thing I look forward to in Ryan's columns is how's he going to end this thing? The mic drop moment. It's my favorite part of the whole columns when you write them.
Pissed off Ryan might be the best writing Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you
refer to
just
myself
let
in the
it.
third person here. Like
You
I'm
let
that
it
important.
go. You let it go.
Pissed off Ryan is the best. Writing Ryan.
Yeah.
I think they should call that the
Half
column
drunk,
space.
Half drunk Wade is the best show.
Yeah, it's the best guess ever. Wade half drunk still at the
We gotta get
Boys
him
State
back on
tournament.
this thing soon.
Hell
Yes.
yeah. But no, good stuff, man.
Thank
I think
you,
you
man.
nailed everything. What was the response like? I know you said you got a bunch of friend requests.
It's been
from-
overwhelmingly positive. Haven't heard anything from anybody in the SSAC. Next week we'll really tell the tale.
You going to track today?
No.
No, you're staying away.
Now, Grant, I think the direct quote from Grant was, I don't want you to quit, so you don't have to do track this week. You did tennis last week. Thanks.
But you got softball coming up, though, right?
Yeah, so that's Wednesday and Thursday. So that's next on the agenda. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
That's when he comes face to face with the SSAC.
You know, I mean, look, it is what it is. I mean, I didn't insult anybody. It's just such a simple fix. Let's just fix it. We'll all be good, right?
You told your truth, and you said
Told my truth.
you told your truth. That's what I would say.
No, it's not my truth. It's the
It's
truth.
everybody's truth.
Yeah, if you saw the Facebook friend requests and messages I got over the last day, it's everybody's truth.
Yeah, everybody was
It's a
saying
simple
it.
fix. Let's just not overthink this and get it done.
You were the voice of the voiceless.
Yeah.
That's what you were.
Well, that's what I'm kind of like the Robin Hood of area sports journalism. You know,
I think they should call that,
taking
though.
on the man.
I like that. Pissed off Ryan as the column space. Just up at the top.
Yeah, but the problem is I'm not always pissed off. Sometimes I write fun stuff, like when Malia kicks my rear end in brackets, or
Yeah, that's about it.
I had a good column about bowl looks this year.
Oh, yeah,
Remember when
yeah,
I
yeah.
staggered them via like movie stuff.
I like
So
that. Was
proud of
good. That
one.
was good.
She was kicking his butt last night on the river. Just hauling in fish.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. She's a bait slayer, dude.
What was that? You said your cousin came over, or cousins came over. They had that giant. What was that? A cat?
Yeah, it's a
catfish?
flathead catfish.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That thing was a
It's a new
monster.
house record. I went out yesterday and tried to break it. It didn't work.
You think
That's a
Leah's going to
monster.
get in the river now after seeing that thing?
No, Malia would never get in the river, regardless.
I think it was bigger than her one.
Yeah. It was huge,
It's
man.
funny,
it was
like, her-
about as long as this table.
Like her mother has passed all of her fears onto Malia. Like my favorite thing to eat in the world, I put, as I've told Brandon, I put chicken gizzards in spaghetti sauce, and that's what I home make my spaghetti sauce with. And the first time I made it for Malia, she had one. She ate like 2 or 3, and she's like, "Oh my god, this is really good." And then Kelsey like laughs and goes, "Guess what it is?" She's like, "What?" She's like, "Chicken gizzards." Oh, and like ever since then, Malia's like, "Oh, I can't eat it. I don't eat it." And I'm like, "You ate like."
Yeah, you've ate a
serving
couple of them.
and love them, but now that your mom doesn't like them, you don't. It's 2 on 1 every day in my house. But
I think a lot of kids do that though. Like if they entrust a parent to tell them their taste, you know what I mean?
I don't like rice to this day because of what my dad told me.
Oh, okay.
So
What did he tell you?
about a time that he spent in Korea.
Oh, okay.
but yeah, like Kelsey's definitely afraid of water.
Okay.
Like she
Just
won't
all
get in the
water.
ocean. She won't get in the river. Like she'll get in the pool, but like
Is
yeah.
it what? Is it the feeling of what she thinks
like-
might be in there?
Like, there's gar in there. I'm like, I'll tell you what, Kels, do me a favor. Google recorded gar attack in the Kanawha River. Go ahead. Oh, it's never happened, ever.
All those results that
But
come
it
up.
could.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. There's that possibility.
It's like, look, I've fished since I was, before I can remember being alive. Trust me, you're okay. Like, I'll dive in there anytime. It doesn't matter. So, but yeah, so Malia's like that too. She ain't getting in any water.
We got a guest today.
Yeah, we do.
Who you bringing on here to us,
Buddy,
Ryan?
Ian Patrick Archer, coming in to talk a little Bettinardi Classic, which is I think this is the 5th year of the tournament. It's one that he organized down there, and they've got every year that field's gotten a little better and a little better. I mean, this year it's legit. I mean, you're talking some of the best players in the state of West Virginia are coming to this thing. So I want to talk a little bit to him about that. And speaking of cooking advice, if you need any,
Yeah.
that's your guy right there.
He's a chef.
Yeah, we've had him on before, obviously. Always fun to talk to him a little bit. So get him, let him plug that tournament.
It's for charity, right? Is it charity? Has it got a cause?
I believe
think?
so.
I believe
We'll let him clear up all the details on that.
But that's cool. He put that together. Now he's getting all kinds of
Yeah.
different talent up there.
You know, of course, we were supposed to have Mason Williams on the day. He, his Georgia Southern Eagles just made it through the regional, and he was tied for 2nd with 4 holes to go. But he had a golf lesson for 2 hours today, so couldn't be on.
Grinding, man.
Yeah, so
Like
it's
Jack said, staying on the grind.
So we're gonna try again Monday. Now they fly out Monday. I said it could be a possibility that maybe we record it beforehand via Zoom or something.
Yeah, that's fine.
Something like that. But yeah, really want to catch up with him. We're gonna get him real soon. So
Yeah. Shout out to Unreasonable Doubt podcast for having me on too. Josh,
listened to that.
who hosts
Good.
that. Oh, did you listen to it?
Yeah.
didn't even know.
Appreciate him coming on, and we were able to kind of plug the show and stuff on there too.
Very cool.
He just wanted to talk about kind of the transition from radio to doing this now, and talked about you guys. And it was funny because we did.
Yeah, what did he say?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we recorded it last week, but the software, whatever he used, for some reason cut out my part, and it just recorded his part. So I had to redo the interview this week, but he did mix it up, which I thought was good because it would have been like running the same script in like a movie and wouldn't have had the same reaction. It just wouldn't have been natural. So, but he did a good job. We talked a little bit of W basketball stuff, NIL, and of course this whole thing with Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban dropped.
Yeah, well, should we get to that
weird.
now or afterwards? About 5 minutes before I call you.
Let's
in
go
here.
afterwards.
Yeah, let's do it
Save
after the
that for
guest.
afterwards because something tells me that's gonna last a little while.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Of course, you know, I feel like all we do is talk about NIL anymore in college athletics. And
Telling me.
you just saw the kid from Pitt,
For rumored 3.5
yeah.
mil.
$3.5 million to USC. I mean, if you look at that offense right now, holy
Which offense?
hell.
USC's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
Be good. Good thing they play in a tough league.
yeah, a real tough league over there in the Pac-12, right? So, you know, Lincoln's basically building another Oklahoma over there because they'll win about 12 straight conference titles.
Yeah, by the way, speaking of Pitt, opening line came out yesterday with the W game. Did you see that?
No, I did not see it.
Pitt -6.5.
So they get them home field, right? Pretty
Home
much.
field's 3 points.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're doubling up on home. Okay.
That's interesting.
So they're saying neutral field Pitt would be
That's
favored
yeah,
3.5.
3.5. Yeah.
I think, yeah, I see it. That's about what I would have it. Addison leaving hurts a little bit, obviously, but I mean their offense is clicking. I mean I don't know. And I think Pitt's going to be favored still by the time that game starts.
Yeah,
I agree.
There's still a lot of question marks for W. So.
Yeah, especially on defense. The secondary, I think, is the biggest thing.
Absolutely. So
That's going to scare the hell out of me, especially that first game, even though, you know, obviously Pickett's no longer there, but the kid that they have stepping in is, they say he's even just as good, if not better.
yeah.
So,
You had Rory shooting a 5-under yesterday, claiming the first
I saw
round
that.
lead at the PGA. By the way, did you see the guy that followed John Daly around all day?
no.
And said, I took notes of everything John
Oh, the
Daly.
21
Oh, yeah, it's right here.
cigarettes.
Yeah. I actually shared it on
was
our page.
12 Diet Cokes. That's more
That's my
impressive
guy.
than 21 cigarettes to me. I'd rather smoke
be John
21
Daly.
cigarettes than drink 12 Diet Cokes. That's all. Can you imagine how your gut feels after
Oh,
that?
I would be, and the caffeine, I would be spinning.
And I love that at the end he put 0.0
ounces of water.
fluid ounces of water.
Yeah, Will Brinson tweeted it out. 21 cigs, 12 Diet Cokes, 6 packs of peanut
Yes,
M&Ms,
6 packs of
0.0 ounces of water.
All right, just for a second, guys, take the 21 cigarettes out of there, okay? Try to eat
21.
6 packs of peanut M&Ms and drink 12 Diet Cokes.
I'd throw up, especially
And then-
walking around.
And not only do that, but walk probably
around,
the equivalent
yeah.
of what, 5-6 miles,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
and play competitive golf.
And no water.
So he shot a +2 and then went and gambled.
Oh, okay.
Afterwards.
Yeah, he's just living his best life,
that,
man.
that famous story where he like blew $1.5 million in a casino in a night.
Yep.
That's pretty wild.
I watched a,
What a night for that casino, by the way.
oh, I know. They made it out,
You
right?
got one guy in here just dropping $1.5 million.
Thanks.
Good
Thanks for your
evening.
money.
Let's tip all of our waitresses a little extra tonight. Here you
Yeah.
go. Here's a bonus.
Plus, I'm sure he didn't
The
spend
John
a
Daly
ton.
bonus. Here's an extra $100 on the paycheck, guys. Appreciate it.
I watched him on some little segment that they did through Golf Channel or something, and they went to his house, and it was just something about him that makes me just love him even more. It's his personality. He's just like a really cool, laid back dude. Was just showing him all the stuff, and apparently he's like friends with like so many different athletes in different sports, and he has like this whole room filled with just memorabilia from just so many different things that they've signed. In NASCAR is a big thing too. He had like a hood up on his in his den or whatever. It was just pretty cool. He just seems like a cool dude.
Just a freak of nature athlete, really.
Could you get me a NASCAR hood? They got one at Deals.
Do they?
You got one at Deals?
Yeah.
NASCAR hood, huh?
Let me work on that. I'll see what I can do.
I'm still waiting on my Marshall flag from Grant. He said he could. hook me
Oh yeah,
up.
he said he was gonna get you one.
I got a pirate flag we can put in here. It
I
says
don't
raise the
think that will
Jolly
fit.
Roger.
I don't think that's gonna fit in.
The good thing about that flag is it's flown so little, it's still in really good shape.
It would stay on the floor. anyway,
Right, yeah.
so, okay.
Use it as the rug.
That's fair. They're used to being on the bottom.
Well, where are you gonna put the Marshall
By
flag?
the way,
though?
one of the people that
right here.
I don't have any red stuff.
one of
in
the
there.
people that sent me a friend request last night in a comment on Facebook Messenger about the tennis story goes, she literally said, "Hey, by the way, I follow you on Twitter. I'm a Bucco fan too. This race for the central basement with the Reds is about to be epic." Like, I know, right?
That's
It's gonna be awesome.
That's great. I mean, that's a mutual feeling among all Pirates fans, right? I mean,
It's
with the
right.
ownership and everything.
Like,
I mean,
it's May, and this entire fan base
They're like, it's over.
It's like, no, they're like, if we can just hold off the Reds and not finish last.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the
that's
best.
the only
Right.
aspiration this fan base has. Let's just not finish last this time.
that's great
It'll be better than the fight for the top.
for the top. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is gonna go down, and then you can tell both of these teams are committed.
They've had some epic games, like, I don't know, not allowing to hit it.
They're both committed to
losing.
futility. Yeah. Although if the Pirates come out there with a payroll a third of what the Reds are, I feel like that's an upset.
That's true.
Yeah. So they do it. You gotta give them credit, man. They make the most of what they spend.
What's the payroll, you think?
$35 million.
Oh, $35 million.
Yeah. Max Scherzer makes 45 this year.
$35 million.
What's Los Angeles?
300.
Oh, it's. I mean, that's massive.
Max Scherzer makes over 40 by himself.
That's crazy.
There's 5 players in the league who make more money than the Pirates' entire roster will this year.
$35 total million. That's just. That's terrible.
That was before, like, it may be 38 now. They had to add, like, draft pick.
But that's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
Like, in baseball. I mean, that's nothing. You can't compete.
That's why when I hear Reds fans griping about their management and I look at their payroll and it's $95 million, I'm like, God, how do you all deal with it? Must be so hard. Anyway, all right, let's break on that, please, before I get upset, and we'll bring Ian Patrick Archer on here in a second. Sound good?
Yeah. Sounds good. All right, let's take a quick break. Again, encourage all of you to go over to the websites, wvgazettemail.com, herald-dispatch.com as well. Read all the articles over there. Give the local writers some love, too. Don't just watch our podcast or listen to it. Make sure you
but do that, too.
do all the content. But do that, too, yeah.
let's
Show them love, too. But do it.
prioritize here, yeah.
But, yeah, do it. Watch us first and then go over there. And
Do both
Yeah,
at the
do
same
both.
time.
You
Be
can-
reading our articles
different
while you're
browsers.
watching our podcast, please.
there you go. Yeah. All right, we'll be back here on the Brandon Lowe Show with Ryan Pritt.
All right, guys. I'm taking the helm here. Welcome back to the Brandon Lowe Show with Ryan Pritt. Prodcast, as we like to call it. On the line, Ian Patrick Archer. And I got a key question for you to start this, Ian. As a big golfer and a food expert, what would be more difficult? Smoking 21 cigarettes over the course of 18 holes, or drinking 12 Diet Cokes and eating 6 packs of peanut M&Ms?
Man, I'm probably going to have to go with the 6.
Well,
That is a pretty good stat, though. I mean, I saw that yesterday on somebody's Instagram page and could not stop laughing. And I think every single friend in my contact list sent it to me.
He's
Yeah.
the greatest athlete in the world, right, Ian?
I mean, he's a gem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the
He's
real
just a complete idiot.
yeah, that's what I was telling him. I couldn't drink 12 Diet Cokes, in 12 days probably, much less 12 or over the course of 18 holes. So, did want to talk to you about this Bettinardi. Obviously, you're out on the golf course right now. How's Esquire Golf Course down there in Barbersville looking right now?
It's looking great. I just missed my birdie putt in the Skins game here. But no, the course is looking great. It greened up over the last week or so when we started getting the really nice weather. Had a little wet March and April. But things are looking great out here, and we've got 56 players. I've got the current amateur champion, current West Virginia Open champion, the current mid-amateur champion is actually in my group today. And, I mean, if you want some competition, bring it on down to Barbersville.
Who's all in the Skins group right now, real quick?
David Bradshaw's here, Jess Farrell. I got Alvin Jewell, who used to be Marco from Marshall. He came in from Florida just to play in the event, and he worked out here when he was at Marshall back in the day in the 90s with Randy Moss, Chad Pennington boys. I'm looking at Ryan Bilby hitting a little 7-iron here on the par 3. I've got ex-amateur champion Alex Eastham and his group.
Hey, good to see Alex made it out there, man.
He is playing with a set that he won the amateur with 2 years ago, and we're going to hold a little raffle for him to raise some more money. He's actually been car shopping and trying to get that together. A friend loaned him a car from Ripley, and he's just overwhelmed with the support. His GoFundMe page hit its goal within 24 hours.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
You know, we might be a small state, but we get behind our people and support them in any way we can when there's something bad happens like that.
Can you, obviously, you talk about all the talent that's going to be in this tournament. Can you kind of take it through? I know what is this, 5th year you've been doing this tournament, right? Correct?
Yep. Started 5 years ago when I was actually working for Bettinardi Putter Company, and just wanted to do a tournament for my people and my pros around the state and the top amateurs around. And then I put a B flight together for just friends of the players and anybody who just wants to come out and play with us and just have some fun.
I think competition brings out anybody, right? Everybody's competitive, and that was the biggest selling point is, come on out and compete against some of the best in the state.
Yeah, I'm usually looking for the easy competition. And these big names up, and they're like, "Oh, he's gonna be there. Oh, I'm coming." Okay, man, whatever you want to do,
Yeah.
But no, I'm overwhelmed with the support I'm getting from all the better players and even the middle of the road guys like myself that barely make cuts and just put a couple points on the board. But we are super excited. We got a good weekend planned. Got my dad coming out to help out. My girlfriend's running scoring, and we're just going to tear it up.
Well, the good part is when you do miss a cut, you do spend the next day Facebook Living and keeping everyone. You make my job obsolete. I mean, my Twitter updates compared to your Facebook Live looks pretty bad.
I tell you what, I love doing that a lot more than I like making bogeys. So I do not have a hard time getting my phone out and putting my voice on the airwaves there.
Hey, a lot less pressure that way too, right?
Oh, yeah, man, it's so much fun. And I'd never met Alex the year that he won. And at the end of it, he saw my videos and stuff, and he's like trying to get a hold. He's like, "Can you send me that video again? Can you send me that video?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got you, man." But we're just having a blast. And I'll be doing some updates on Facebook for the shootout this afternoon. I've got 10 players, and we're going to do like a Coca-Cola style shootout from like they do at the West Virginia Open. So be looking for that one today. And
that's awesome because that might be the most fun part of the Open, and that's not bashing the Open at all, which is great. But that event is always a highlight. Those shootouts.
Oh yeah, and not one person told me no. I'm like, "Hey, I'm having a shootout." They're like, "What?" "Oh, I'm in."
Yeah, it's where you get to kind of see the players let loose a little bit. It's always fun just to be around that environment because it's a fun thing. It's not like trying to win the trophy. Everyone's just kind of hanging out and playing.
Yeah, exactly. We get the cooler filled up and get out here and have a nice little afternoon. Takes up 3 hours and get some spectators. I got a bunch of people that live out here that play in my normal group that'll be coming out and running around and hooting and hollering. So
it's going to be a hot one out there.
Yeah, it's going to be 95 out there.
Yeah, well, we got some overcast going on right now, so it's keeping the sun off of us. But the pollen is coming off these trees like crazy with all this wind. So it's a little rowdy.
All right, so just to refresh here, the Bettinardi Classic, the 5th annual at Esquire Golf Course, play Saturday and Sunday, right? A 2-day tournament featuring some of the best players in the state, like you said, David Bradshaw, Alex Eastham, on and on. We can't let you go without picking a winner. Ian, what's the prediction?
I'm going to take Bradshaw. He's tough to beat in the state of West Virginia. If this was in Kentucky, I'd probably pick somebody else. But,
yeah, his betting odds are probably about minus 400 right now, right?
Yeah, Phil Reel's the defending champion, and he's playing, so he's going to be tough. If he gets that putter hot, there's not too many people beating him. But we're going to have a good time, and I'll definitely post it up for you guys.
Well, very good. Well, if you're in the area and you guys like to watch some good golf, stop in, see those guys. They're all good guys. You'll get to see some good stuff. So, Ian, I'll let you get back to chasing birdies, man. Appreciate you jumping on for a few minutes.
Yeah, thanks, Ian.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Lowe.
All right, man. There we go.
See ya.
Yeah.
Ian Patrick Archer.
Good stuff, man.
One of the good dudes.
I think it's amazing. And like I said, obviously the selling point for anything, especially golfers, competition, man. You're out there and you want to compete and get better, and you're trying to grab onto any tournament or anything you can get to because the guys like David Bradshaw are always out there playing, and a lot of those guys are. So it's really cool, man. And to see, like you said, for 5 years, just getting more and more talent.
Yeah,
in tournaments.
Cool. This is Bradshaw's first appearance. Like this thing is slowly, well, not slowly, actually. If you think about it, 5 years isn't that long. It's steadily. That's the better word. Steadily picked up, and Ian's done a great job building a good field down there, and just knowing those guys, knowing him. And the guys he's got down there, that's going to be a fun place to be this weekend.
I can't imagine what the skins game's like with that talent. Because normally you're attaching yourself to like me, I'm a terrible golfer. So I
Yeah.
attach myself to somebody because you're going to play the better shot. So it's
Yeah,
like,
so they're playing like a practice round. This would have been a great day just to have a golf cart and drive around the course.
Yeah.
You're going to see some good golf, but you're also going to see these guys letting loose. I mean, this like this isn't a WGA thing. Now there is $1,000 on the line to the winner. I mean,
Okay.
you can win some money here. The championship flight's 1,000 to first, 500 second, 400 third, 354, 250 fifth, and then if you're in that B flight, he was talking about you can win $300 for winning it.
see, that's good too. He's
So
got
there's
some
money on the
prizes.
line. And once that happens, it's like anything else. But like today, and that shootout, I don't know if you all know what he meant by the Coca-Cola shootout style. So at the West Virginia Open every year, one of the coolest things about that event, the night before play starts, they will bring back the top 10 from the year before. And it's a 9-hole competition, and everyone plays at the same time. So everyone plays hole 1, all 10 people. And the lowest 2 scores of that hole are out.
Yeah.
And if you tie, there's like a chip off where it's like closest to the pin. And every hole you eliminate a guy until the end, and there's only one guy left standing. Let me tell you, man, everyone's just having a good time, letting loose up there, giving each other hell, and it is absolutely one of the funnest things. So for him to pull that off this year too, that's going to be good. That's tonight down there. If you're
That's
down
cool,
that way,
man.
so
Yeah, check it out for sure. Get down there. Like he said, a lot of good talent and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's always good to be around stuff like
and
that.
they've got a food truck coming down there too. Like I said, Ian knows his way around food. So where did he say that was coming from? Twisted Grill food truck arriving at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Okay.
So get you something good to eat. You got post round at Oscars, which we
Nice.
remember, right?
Yeah. Nice.
Great place there. So
It's very nice.
Yeah, you got a lot of cool stuff going on with that thing. So
I really, speaking of Oscars, Jason just kills it down there, and I know he's got the record store now, and I think they had to close their little hoagie shop, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that thing was killing it too, apparently, but just not enough business, I guess, or whatever. But man, I wish they would get a bigger building or another location, because you got to. I mean, and this is a good thing for him because the business is just so good. I mean. There's almost always a wait there because so many people want to go there and eat there. It's great food. You've been there, haven't you? You haven't?
oh man,
It's great.
Yeah.
It's in Barbersville, right?
Yeah. And we
The
tried
burgers were pretty good.
They're great.
Great.
And,
And
the,
it really-
and the cost is great.
it really appeals to me too because the owner is a big. He was on a drummer in a heavy metal band.
Yeah, I believe. I just know he's into metal. He's
So like all of his burgers are named after
Metal bands.
or singers.
Yeah.
And then they're playing like I was in there one time. The Seven Dust starts playing. I'm like,
yeah.
oh my god.
yeah. You never know what they're gonna play in there. It's really cool. They got a bunch of beer, and it's a nice little joint too. But he's gonna have to expand, man, because they're just so busy all the time. They got that little patio out there now too. But man, that place is
It's really
great.
nice to talk about a local business and not look in the quarter and see this. By the way.
Yeah, see somebody going like this to us.
Yeah.
That is nice. That should have been one of the things. To Josh,
Ours is not
What's
one
the
of our
difference
sponsors,
between?
but we all enjoy it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, we gave him some love.
Yeah. So
Okay, we don't have to pay. We don't have to do this.
and we won't get yelled at for saying that, which is
I can
nice.
talk about business
Brandon,
freely.
We're gonna need you in a meeting in an hour.
Yeah, that was always good.
You're not allowed
Loved
to
it.
mention businesses.
Didn't want to jump off the top of that building at all afterwards.
Anyway,
That building's not high enough.
Yeah, I know.
You just land and break an ankle.
You have to go to your head first. All right.
Is there an edit
Thanks
button?
to Ian. Hey, this is a free-for-all show here.
Yeah, thanks to Ian Patrick Archer, obviously, for taking some time off of the 7th green. Wherever
that does
he
sound like
was.
a very cool event.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. It will. And there will be some good golf there. And I was looking
Yeah.
at the groups, and there's some big-time groups that, any tournament you saw in this state, those would be good groups. So, and glad to see Alex made it
Yeah,
with some clubs.
that's awesome that he got the GoFundMe to,
Don't count him out either.
because that's crazy, man. That story. Of course, you had the story in Gazette, but man, that's
I'll
nuts.
guarantee you this: of the players that are in that tournament, and I saw the field, no one would outdrive Alex Eastham. Nobody in that field. Not Bradshaw. Not any of those guys. Davy Jude, maybe close.
Yeah.
He there's a good chance Alex Eastham is the furthest hitter in that entire field. So
Check it out.
Yeah.
2 days of golf, Saturday and Sunday, down there in Barbersville. So should be really cool.
Yep.
All right, do we want to take another break and then we'll dive into Saban versus Fisher in IL?
Let's do it.
That ought to have
Fisher
theme
cutting the
music with it.
WWE promo.
Can we get the UFC music play?
Of course, we got to watch on that because we'll get yanked
I
off
forgot.
stuff.
Never mind.
You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, a lot of rules.
At least that's the only one. We don't have this. All right, let's take a break.
By the way, I'm gonna plug my electric up when I get home, my Gibson Les Paul, and I'm gonna record all of our music.
You should.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Just do a little bit of instrumental.
I'll have to get Jack to come into my living room. I don't have that kind of recording capability.
Do it.
You can come in the living room and just have the whole thing all
Hook my
set
metal
up.
master up. It'll be good.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we get back, it's Saban versus Fisher. Dun, 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 here on the Brandon Lowe Show with Ryan Pritt. Stick around. All right, welcome back to the Brandon Lowe Show with Ryan Pritt here on HD Media Video Productions. And yeah, we got a little battle going on with the NIL stuff. Saban made some remarks, and Coach Fisher came back with stuff. Let's fire up and play Saban's remarks first there, Jack.
Let's do it.
All right.
If I can do it.
Are you there?
I'm here.
Are you there, Saban?
And you've read about them. You know who they are. I mean, we were second in recruiting last year. A&M was first. A&M bought every player on their team, made a deal for name, image, and likeness. All right, we didn't buy one player. We have a rule right now that says you cannot use name, image, and likeness to entice a player to come to your school. Hell, read about it in the paper. I mean, Jackson State paid a guy $1 million last year that was a really good Division I player to come to school. It was in the paper, and they bragged about it. Nobody did anything about it. I mean, these guys at Miami that are going to play basketball there for $400,000, it's in the newspaper. The guy tells you how he's doing it. So, but the NCAA can't enforce their rules because it's not against the law.
So there you go, Saban. And then, of course, that caused a whole firestorm across Twitter and social media and the national headlines. So that
Across the state of Texas.
Yeah, everywhere. I mean,
Specifically the state of Texas.
yes, yeah, Texas for sure. So Jimbo
Harrison
Fisher.
County, Marion County. that
Harrison,
area.
Mary, Clarksburg, and Fairmont.
Yeah. So, and I saw some funny tweets, by the way, out there. It was like they should battle it out in a Kroger parking lot and or something like that. There was a couple of like just West Virginia reference kind of tweets out there, which is kind of funny. But Fisher comes and I guess summons a press conference to
Summons
a press conference, and yeah, he's cutting like a WWE promo or something. But it sounded like he was about to cry in some of this. But Jack, if you want to fire that off.
First of all, I'll say it's a shame that we have to do this. It's really despicable. It's despicable that somebody can say things about somebody and an organization. More importantly, 17-year-old kids. You're taking shots at 17-year-old kids and their families. That they broke state laws. They're all money. We bought every player on this group. We never bought anybody. No rules were broken. Nothing was done wrong. It was all and the way we do things, the ethics in which we do things. And these families, it's despicable that a reputable head coach could come out and say this when he doesn't get his way or things don't go his way. The narcissist in him doesn't allow those things to happen, and it's ridiculous. But when he's not on top, and the parity in college football he's been talking about, go talk to coaches who coach for him. You'll find out all the parity. Go dig into wherever he's been. You can find out anything. And it's a shame that you got to sit here and defend 17-year-old kids and families in Texas A&M because we do things right. We're always going to do things right. But we're always going to be here. We're doing a heck of a job. These coaches have done a great job. Our players have done a great job. The whole organization of recruiting people. It's despicable that we got to sit here at this level of ball and say these things to defend the people of this organization, the kids, 17-year-old kids and their families. It's amazing. Some people think they're God. Go dig into how God did his deal. You may find out about a guy that a lot of things you don't want to know. We built him up to be the czar of football. Go dig into his past or anybody that's ever coached with him. You can find out anything you want to find out.
Yikes. So right there. What do you think, boys?
I think the latter part of that,
Yeah.
Fisher
Yeah.
is what is, I mean,
It's
intriguing
kinda,
to me.
It's intriguing, yeah.
He
Because you're
coached
like, what's he mean?
He coached for him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were on the same.
Well, first of all, let's just kill the obvious elephant in the room right now. If either of those guys believe that there's parity in college football, they're both out of their friggin' minds.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't know what either one of them are talking about there. I know that was brought up by Nick, and Jimbo was kind of reacting. So Nick Saban and parity in college football is the most hilarious thing I've ever heard.
Right.
Second of all, as a neutral outsider, doesn't it just kind of seem like both of these guys are in a contest to see who's the biggest jerk, and it's a tie? No one will tell them.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, I know.
Why is this? You're coaching at two of the premier programs in the United States. Like, what is wrong with Nick Saban?
I know.
You've won 5,000 titles. Like, everyone does think you're God. Like, just let it go.
So grumpy.
You have the second best recruiting class, and now you're mad? Like, who cares?
Right.
If you look at that whole clip too, he goes back and before that he says, "I don't think we can keep up.
Yeah, right.
I don't think we can continue
We
to do
can't
that."
keep up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Can't keep up.
Nick Saban comes out of his office, and there's a line of 7,000 5-stars just waiting
Right.
to come in.
Exactly. There's I agree with Ryan. It's two little crybabies. It just sounds like it's grumpy old men.
It is.
College football version. That's what it
For
is.
Jimbo Fisher to act like he's done everything right, how about you go look at Florida State? Because I remember those years. Remember, I followed that team a little bit.
Yep.
Look how that program was left when he left.
Right.
You think Neil Brown's had it tough after Holgerson? Go check out what was left at Florida State when Jimbo was done with that place.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's just it's crazy because it's two programs, like you said, that have all the resources, tons of money thrown at it. I mean, Texas A&M too. I mean, they got a ton of money that goes into that program, and obviously Alabama too. But it's like the rich crying to the rich kind of thing. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm richer than you. No, I'm richer than you. Well, you did this behind my back, and I didn't. It's just like, I think it's like Saban can't take it that he's number 2 in the recruiting class.
He'll be number 1 next year.
Which doesn't
Who
even
cares?
matter.
Yeah, who cares?
You're telling me Alabama can't win a title with a number 2 recruiting class? I'm pretty sure they can.
And
Like last year was the first time A&M's beaten Alabama in 5,000 years or whenever it was. I don't know.
I mean, and also the fact that Saban, I mean, if you look at all the coaches that have been on his staff and gone on to be a head coach, like Kirby Smart, which Kirby Smart obviously did his thing this year, but how successful he still is against his coaches that were on his staff. He's never lost until, so it's just crazy. I mean, the whole thing's nuts.
And for Jimbo to be like, go ask any of them. Well, why don't you just tell us?
Yeah, tell us right now.
Don't just
what's going
allude
on.
to it. You coach for him. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
what'd you do?
Yeah, what do you mean? Go dig into his past? Like what?
Jimbo, did you learn it from him?
Are you implying that he broke in the NCAA rules? Are you implying that he killed somebody? I mean, what are you saying?
They're not ever. Here's the thing too that's so funny about all this. They will never investigate any kind of colleges like Texas A&M and Alabama.
No.
Now, if North Carolina, community tech college decides to create a class to try to get a kid an education,
Or Oklahoma State.
or Oklahoma State, the basketball program gets basically almost thrown the death penalty.
Yeah, Alabama will get the Kansas treatment.
Yep.
Right.
Where they're allowed to just still win national titles and no one says anything.
Exactly. Nothing's happened to Kansas. It's just never going to happen. It doesn't matter. These coaches literally could probably do it in front of us, and they would do nothing about it.
Yeah.
Because the NCAA they know this, how much money in conferences. They all know how much money these schools make everybody. So that they're not gonna mess with the breadwinners. They're not gonna do that. They're gonna. I mean, it's comparable to, and I always say this too. If you look at entertainment, right? These A-listers, and it happened in the beginning with the Me Too, but these A-listers, they get away with stuff that other people wouldn't in the entertainment business. So I see so many stand-up comedians getting canceled over stupid stuff because they don't make anybody a bunch of money.
Right.
They're making themselves money, right? They don't do anything for Hollywood or entertainment, so they can cancel them. But Will Smith can go on stage and slap Chris Rock and get his award and get applause.
Yeah.
What if that happens during A&M and Alabama's game next year?
I love it. Instead of the
Jimbo just
handshake, he
walks
just
across
slaps
the
him.
field, slaps next.
No, let's get a fight in the middle of the field afterwards.
Why haven't we seen that gif out there?
Yeah, could we get like the whole
The heads on.
the head,
Yeah.
Jimbo and
Yeah.
Saban heads on.
I
Will
wish we
Smith
still had
and Chris
celebrity
Rock.
death match, and they could
that show was
create that.
great.
Yeah. But yeah, it's very similar to. It's all about how much money somebody's making other people on the back end, and that's why these schools and coaches and everything, they're never going to get anything, any death penalties or any firings or any. It's just
They have every advantage in the world. The SEC gets every advantage you can possibly give anybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the fact that these are the two guys crying about this.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
unbelievable. Like Neil Brown should be crying about this.
Yeah,
he's not, but he should be.
Yeah, those are the schools.
that are
Yeah.
getting destroyed by this. Not
middle-
A&M and Bama.
the middle of the road programs, and I always say, I mean, I hate to say that, but W fans will never admit that. But the programs that catch fire every 4 years and maybe potentially compete for a conference title, those schools are the ones that are going to get annihilated.
Kansas State.
Yeah.
Chris Kleiman should be pissed.
Right. Those are the type of schools.
Matt Campbell
Texas
at
Tech.
Iowa State, who's still finding success, somehow
Exactly.
he should be pissed.
Exactly.
Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher, get out of here.
Yeah. So
That's like, it's like what, Dave Roberts crying about the salary cap in baseball or something.
yeah.
Like, dude, you have the most payroll of any team in the league. He doesn't, but I'm saying that's what this would be like,
Yeah, I know. It's and Saban, like you said, this isn't the first time he has thrown comments towards, and of course he alluded to Deion Sanders in that second one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
let's leave them out of it.
Yeah.
What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
what are we doing?
Old Jackson State.
Yeah, I mean,
Who do they think they are getting a number one recruit?
yeah, they're not allowed to do
Miami
that.
basketball down there.
Yeah. So, and then, he throws basketball in there, which we knew that story. And again, that was all speculation. That's another thing Saban needs to realize, too, is that stay in your lane and stay in your program's business.
Hey, I will credit him for telling everybody to read the newspaper. So
Yeah, that was nice
We
of him.
appreciate that, Nick. Thank you.
But the fact that story that he's talking about, you and I actually brought it up on the podcast when we did it, or no, I think all three of us, and when Miami, where they were trying to work that deal.
Yeah.
Because
The
they
other
had-
kid got jealous.
Yeah, the other kid got pissed off because he wasn't getting, apparently, and this is all speculation. Nothing's been confirmed that he didn't get a NIL deal like the other kids, so he was going to leave and go to the NBA. And nothing's ever been confirmed. It's like this whole thing with this kid out of Pitt transferring to USC or whatever for supposedly $3.5 million. Again, hasn't been confirmed.
$3.5 million.
The thing about it is, there is no coach in the country that's more powerful than Nick Saban. He could actually use his clout for actual change.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to talk about this stuff, then go to the NCAA or whoever and be like, look, this is what's wrong with this system.
Well,
Don't just point at A&M like they're the only team in the country that
Exactly.
paid anybody this year.
Exactly.
Look
I
at
think
Miami
he was
football.
though, in that whole conversation because this was at a boosters meeting
Okay.
or a function, so he was bringing up things.
He needs to go to the NCAA office.
Well, again, they're supposed to.
Right.
They're
But
supposed to.
At the end of that clip, you heard him say the NCAA is not going to do anything because
It's not against the law.
it's not against the law.
But it is a rule.
But
Boosters
then you
aren't
gets
supposed
back
to
to
do
what you were saying about the NCAA. Why would they do anything? Because they're making a bunch of money.
They're not
from it.
going to. I mean, I even said that in that podcast I told you guys I was on or whatever. Like that, Josh asked me that. He said, I said, the whole model of student athlete and all that amateur model was created by the NCAA. It wasn't like, it's not like, as in terms of them saying that they're an amateur athlete, we can't pay them, that type of thing. Like they get a scholarship, so they're good. They're compensated. They're good.
The
Room and
NCAA
board.
doesn't run college sports anyway. The SEC does.
Yeah, well,
Go
now,
to
yeah,
Greg
for
Sankey.
sure. Yeah, for sure.
They control the entire thing.
But this goes back to the college basketball model, right? Let's put them all on, 16 channels, the NCAA, the tournament, hike up the prices, make a ton of money off advertising, and the players get none of it.
Yeah.
And it's based off all the brands and what those kids bring to the table, right? In those matchups, obviously everybody watches it for the excitement and the madness or whatever and the plays and all that stuff. But, those folks are there to see certain players play and certain teams play and matchups. I mean, that they sell the brand and
that's what the NIL is for. But what
Right.
they're talking about here
it's the Wild West with the boosters and such.
it's been taken. I mean, it's off course so far now.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
What's been lost in all of this is what makes what I used to love about college athletics and why a lot of times I'd rather go watch a high school game now than anything is amateurism.
Yeah.
Like these kids are out here working their rear ends off to play a sport they love. The end. They're not getting paid. They're not moving across the country to go make more money. It's, hey, I love this sport.
Right.
I'm passionate about this. I'm going to work really hard, and we're going to play just for a win.
Yeah,
Not for money,
exactly.
not anything else. And that was a big part of all this NIL stuff to start. Mm-hmm. And it hasn't been talked about a lot since then, but it's changed everything. I mean, people get up in arms and gripe and complain about kids sitting out bowl games, and I'm not here to judge anyone for doing that or not doing that. I don't know what it's like to have a $5 million contract resting on me not getting hurt for a game.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Whatever, but it does make the game suck.
It does.
Like,
well, a lot of those bowl games this year, like the Pitt-Michigan State matchup, was going to be really good, but Michigan State's running back sat out, Pickett sat out.
how long until kids start sitting out the NCAA tournament? Like, say you're on a 6 seed that probably doesn't have
I'm actually
a
shocked.
realistic shot
I'm
at
actually
winning a
shocked.
national title. What's to stop you from being like,
Yeah.
it's just a couple games that don't really mean anything?
Yeah. I think
Where does it stop?
I think and I hope that never happens because that's what makes still that tournament the best.
I'm like you,
sporting
though. I
event.
can't believe that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I know. But I think what it is because of that. There's more of a chance. There's that chance that you could make a Final Four, a national title, an experience. Because if you look at football, it's so skewed. It's either here or nowhere, right? It's either make the playoff.
Yeah, and
Or a Rose
which goes back
Bowl.
to all that parody Nick's talking about.
Or none of it. Yeah, right. The playoff committee. So I think that's what it is these players are like, why am I going to play in the Car Center Bowl
Well, I mean,
when I can
you're
go?
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. There's a difference there, but I do think it starts happening in the next 5 years.
I wouldn't put it past it. I mean, I'm with you.
Yeah, like a kid who's going to be one and done somewhere.
Yeah, I don't see it forever going the model it's at. So I'm with you. I hope it doesn't happen because that's what makes that so great.
And it's going to filter into everything else. Like, what about baseball? Like college baseball? Like if say W makes a regional, like, and I'm just using them as an example. You know, they're not probably going to win the national title.
It's
If
a
they had
long
like a
run.
kid like Alec Manoa on the team, still,
Yeah.
who, by the way, is killing. We
killing
got to
it.
talk about him one day on here.
I've been trying to look into getting them on, actually.
But say say Alec Manoa plays for W.
Or Michael Grove, who was
Or
selected in the
Grove.
second round.
Just an MLB prospect.
Yep.
And they make the regional. What's the point in playing? You're not going to win the NCAA tournament with this team. Like, you look behind you and know who's starting behind you. And
Don't they have the Major League Draft during the College World Series?
And that thing's changed
yeah,
so
they do.
many times.
I think they do. Yeah, I think you're right.
College coaches hate that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But I mean, what's it to stop a kid from being like,
I know.
I must save my arm, make sure I don't need Tommy
they
John.
can shut it down and say, hey, I've got this doesn't feel
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's probably even easier for them because the
Yeah.
pitcher can just
Oh,
be
yeah.
like, I have arm discomfort and he's out for 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is going to happen in everything. And like I said, I'm not here to judge anybody for doing it or not doing it. It sucks. The system is what it is. But, it's really, really hurting college
Hey,
athletics.
if I don't get more money from you guys, I'm not coming on Monday.
Well,
You've got the whole weekend.
I got a
to-
couple quarters out in the car. That would be more
that'll
than
work.
than you've got.
That makes all of us. But the NIL, I think what that did too, like if you just had the transfer portal, let's just say we had that, we didn't have the NIL. Do we feel like that the talent wise would be spread out more and the brand would be better if we didn't have NIL and they just had the transfer portal? So like say Kansas State potentially could get a hold of a kid that played at, I mean, look at JT Daniels going to W. We don't know what has happened behind the scenes to get him there. Don't know.
right.
But I'm just saying, what if that came pure through a transfer portal situation without any type of NIL, whatever? Would that make it better?
Well, the thing about it
Because
is,
NIL, what it does is it keeps schools like USC, Alabama, those schools with the money
Well, especially now with
in front. That's what it
it's
does.
Wild Wild West with it.
Right.
Yeah, but the thing is, there was already the NIL. It just
was
wasn't
behind
winning.
the
it was
scenes.
behind the
Which is true.
scenes.
That's true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason those
You're
schools
right.
were
That's true.
already great.
Yeah.
you
You're
know?
right.
Now they're just telling you about it.
Yeah,
Which probably makes it worse, admittedly. You're probably right about that.
It's obvious, and then that's obvious. You see kids all the time back before this was in the Fort Lake in front of everybody. They'd have 26 schools on their list, and they're LSU, Alabama, Ohio State. You know, the list goes on and on. It's like, what was the difference between that school and this school and this school? It's like, oh, I wonder what was promised. Yeah, right. Yeah. So, I mean, it's crazy. It sucks. I think it's
not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere, and I think Ryan's right. I think eventually it's going to trickle down into other sports in different ways. I don't know if it'll be as massive.
And we've already seen who was the kid, Ewers, that got paid like $1 million and sat out his high school senior season. Yeah. It's going to happen too.
He went to now he's at Texas.
Yeah.
So
you don't think that's going to happen more often than just that once? You're out of your mind.
He was a millionaire before he even left high school.
Before he ever took a practice snap out of college.
Never played.
And then transferred immediately.
And transferred to Texas. So, yeah.
I mean, like I said, man.
Good luck, kid.
I will continue to ride this line forever because I believe it's true. If aliens ever land here and you want to get rid of them, explain college football to them.
Yeah.
It's the most complicated, dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. It should not be this hard.
SSAC tennis scoring. So.
Well, Ryan explained that as Colin. Yeah. I love the counting part you put in there. Ones. And then if they get to skip the first round,
and if they need help, my 10-year-old daughter,
I'll sign her up.
She works for cheap.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
I'll sign her up.
That was
she
awesome.
needs a good activity anyway.
That was great.
A little math help, a little tutoring. I really have thought about. Do you guys think I should send a bill for an hour of work?
That was in there too. I forgot about that.
Let me create you an invoice.
Create like a fancy, like legitimate form.
The guy, what'd you say? You and the guy from Charleston Catholic.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to that guy who I didn't catch the name of, but he's wearing like, green C's, and he's like, no, this isn't. He's got his pen and paper out. I'm like, I mean, they won. They don't even have any reason to care, and he's up there like trying to get it right with me.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, thank God that we're here. What's this trophy would be in Wood County otherwise? How many trophies right now are collecting dust in trophy cases they do not belong in?
Yeah, that's the big question. Of course, we brought that up on the podcast.
And let's bring it up on their website because all the data's there.
By the way, I had a fellow scribe reach out who covered the AAA side of things and said that there was a mistake there too.
Wow.
And that they caught it last second. So we almost had 2 trophies going in the wrong directions.
You are reading.
There's only 4.
You are really leading.
There's only 4 trophies total, so you missed half of them.
I mean, if it wasn't for Ryan Pritt, I mean,
I hope you cover it next year. They see you.
Oh, he's there. He's there.
Yeah,
I'm telling Grant right now.
I got to be honest.
Your boy's going to be there.
If I get the tennis for track deal every year, I'll take tennis every time.
Yeah.
No offense to those hardworking kids that work their rear ends off for track. I respect the hell out of you, but God, that
is a tough event.
Long day. And when it's it's always 95.
Now
it's like Mother Nature knew track weekend with, better crank it up here.
What was that?
It's 4 days now, isn't it?
Yeah.
What was that moment that you told me when you were first working the track event? You walked across the track or something, and somebody got mad at you. Was that you that did that? Was that your story?
No.
Or somebody did something at a track event they weren't supposed to.
But it's funny because the guy that was at the AAA tennis part said that the guys in charge of team scoring were mean to him. I'm like, oh, yeah. They are.
At track or tennis?
Or tennis, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ask for scoring, and they act like you're, like, trying to get a date with their daughters. It's like, dude.
They give you, like, a look, or they're like, no?
They're rude. They are rude. Some of those guys are very rude. And I'm just like, who the hell are you?
Yeah. Why are they there? Are they volunteering?
You're counting by 1, bro. Congrats. Check this out. Malia, get out of the car. Come here. All right, add those 6 ones up. See what you get. What are we doing?
She got 6, and that guy that was being rude got 7.
Yeah, he gave the 6 to the wrong team. So now there's a trophy in the Eastern Panhandle that belongs in Wood County. I don't know.
Do they draw straws when they get there to see who's going to be the guy who counts?
I don't know, man. It's
be an easy job.
That's pretty easy.
I could have went.
I would have fallen asleep.
I had to cut like 8 paragraphs out of that column. I could have filled our sports section up with that.
Page 2.
Pissed off Ryan.
I had to like basically grab one wrist and hold it back from writing the word.
Do you keep your uncut version?
No.
Nah.
I gotta get rid of it because I'm too.
You'll start going
Just
back.
send it to me.
I'm sending it in.
Just start sending it to me.
Can we start just putting the unedited version on our Facebook page?
I just start tweeting it out.
I can't do that.
The show after dark pages.
I gotta get the eyes to our product. Obviously, I can't do that.
Well, you'll have that, and then
share it with
we'll
you
do it the
guys,
day
though.
later.
I'll send it to you guys.
We'll do it a day later. We'll let it go out there on HD.
If there was an uncensored version of what I wanted to write yesterday,
yeah, we will put it up there.
my mother wouldn't talk to me again. Oh, goodness gracious. So, one more thing to tease today, by the way, right after this, about 3 o'clock. Well, there's a couple things, actually. One, we have our all Kanawha Valley photo shoot today, which means teams have been locked in. Those will be released on Tuesday.
This is baseball and softball.
Softball today.
Just softball.
Baseball will be next week. It's always a week after.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, be looking for those. I got a little breaking news this morning, too. This won't be released till 4, so I feel like I can go ahead and say it on here because I'm going to call him here in a few. Rich Skeen, the AD at Sissonville, reached out to me this morning, and he and East Fairmont's athletic director, who I have not got a name for yet, so I apologize about that, have put together a Big Ten versus Cardinal Conference season-long challenge that will go into effect next year. It will encompass every sport but soccer and football. I don't know if that's because schedules are already made or whatever, but I understand football. You only get 10 games and 8 of them are conference games. That makes it tough. But I'm going to give him a call here in a little bit and get the details, but it will involve scoring added up throughout the year, and hopefully the tennis people aren't in charge of this so somebody can do it right. And at the end of the year, one of the leagues will have league supremacy over the other, which is pretty cool.
That's cool.
I think they were already doing it in basketball, weren't they? Didn't they do that at state, like the Big Ten Cardinal Conference Challenge?
Yeah.
Yes.
But they weren't doing it every year, though.
I thought they were, but I thought it was 1 year it was down here and 1 year it was up there. It's only been a couple years that they've done this.
Yeah, and the pandemic may have.
That's true
messed
too.
with that
Yeah,
too,
but
so.
I'm pretty sure they were already doing that, which helps. And then they're just going to take it into. And I was like, well, you mean like every sport, like baseball and softball? And he's like, no, every sport. So I'm guessing swimming, track, tennis, golf, all of it. So that'll be cool. I like that idea a lot. That's something that.
Wrestling?
Yeah, wrestling.
Yeah. Cardinals have to go out and get Point Pleasant now.
Which, look, I've beat on that door a few times. Why is Point Pleasant not the 10th team in this league? And you get mixed explanations. But we'll just say that there are no plans to add Point Pleasant for whatever reason. I don't understand it, especially with the new highway being built. If you're in Sissonville, you can get to Point Pleasant faster than you can get to Logan or Wayne.
Exactly.
For sure.
So
Winfield, Polka, bam, right there.
It's already.
yeah, I think Point. I mean, they already share regions with these teams, sections. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. But hey, I'm not in that pay grade. I don't get to make those decisions. So, but for what it is, the Big Ten versus the Cardinal Conference Challenge will go into effect next year. So,
Very cool stuff, man.
yeah.
All right, that wraps up our show. Unless you boys got anything else.
Charleston baseball in action today.
Yeah,
An
that's
elimination
right.
game
Get
up
our
in
update.
Pennsylvania.
How we looking?
Through 4 right now. Charleston is winning over Gannon, 1-0.
Of course, by the time this comes out at 4,
Yeah,
they're already
we'll know
done,
the
but-
result.
How'd they do yesterday? I missed it.
They got beat 9-4.
Millersville pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were in this. Did they win this last year? This region?
No, Seton Hill did
That's right. They were, but it was Millersville, Seton Hill in the finals.
in
right?
the final.
Yeah. Okay.
Millersville beat Charleston 3-1.
Okay. So UC trying to stave off elimination right now.
Yep, them and Gannon in action right now. So
All right.
Who's UC got on the hill?
Colt Webb.
Colt Webb today. Was Saturday yesterday?
No, McNeil.
McNeil. Okay.
Yep.
So they
Which he
got,
pitched well.
yeah, he had good numbers too. I looked them all up the other day.
They scored, I think, 6 runs in the last 4 innings.
So they've got Webb and Sedurna lined up. Okay.
Yep.
UC might put up a little fight here. So
There we go.
Keep an eye on that.
All right, there we go. That does it for our show today. We do this Mondays and Fridays at 4 p.m. all across the board, HD media platforms, video productions, Facebook. We're doing Twitter too, at BLR Pod. And video productions, Jack, what's the Twitter handle for video productions?
Video Stream WV.
Okay, so do that as well because we put out clips and all kinds of cool stuff over there too, sometimes full episodes, so check it out. All right, also follow Ryan's work as he'll be covering softball coming up too. You got that stuff going. What else you got? Just
I still dabble in the W thing. Yeah, I just haven't had time
it's
to.
slow with W right now.
Yeah, so basically it's all softball until the end of next week.
Okay.
And then we shift gears at some point. So
Okay, so there we go. All right, that does it for us. We'll talk to you on Monday at 4 o'clock. Thank you for listening and watching the Lowe Show with Ryan Pritt. Thanks, guys.